All right, welcome to the Bitcoin predictions based on astrology. I'm Jack. I'm an engineer gone crypto astrologer. None of this is financial advice, but if you're new here, like I said, I'm an engineer gone crypto astrologer. On this channel, I combine technical analysis with astrology. Beware of the spam bots in the comments. Don't fall for those crypto scams. Smash the like button. If we get this video to 300 likes, let's do our best. I'll make an XRP, Solana, and Ethereum forecast video for the month of June. Okay, let's take a look at the charts, shall we? Okay, so we take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 108. So we did get a little dump. Let's go on the daily. We got a little dump. This actually looks like could be a really healthy correction because we got to the all-time high. Now we're retesting kind of these levels right around here where we got these little local peaks here. You know, there's a lot of resistance around this 107 level, so we just retested that. So that's actually looking pretty good so far. We could continue to move up from here, dare I say. And yeah, I like that. Now, if we go to the weekly scale and we take a look at the RSI, which is basically the momentum. So we open up these down here and we zoom out, and the RSI, you know, when it's really high, it's overbought. When it's really low, it's oversold. You know, we bounced off of this 44 level, which arguably is really still bullish. And we're heading up to this potential area of resistance around 73. So we still have some room to go up, arguably. That's not to say that we couldn't, you know, maybe slow down a little bit before heading back up. One interesting thing to know, just on a side note, is it feels good to be on live stream again. My internet's been weird. Perhaps it was the Sun conjunct Uranus. For all you astrology freaks out there, you know, Uranus can bring a lot of unexpected things with technology. But we're back. We're so back. And let's put some good juju out there for a good internet connection. And we continue this live stream. All right, so the stochastic RSI is at 99. So actually, that's interesting. For Bitcoin, this is arguably overbought territory. So that's a little concern here, actually. But if we look at the last time this happened, November, you know, Bitcoin was still staying strong for another month or so. That's interesting, though. I mean, let's look at history. Let's look at other times this has happened. You know, January 2023. Sometimes it can dump and then recover again. But let's look at like the last, let's look at the last bull run perhaps. Back here, you know, we can, yeah. I wonder if it could be something like this where it heads up and then it drops down. Here, let me show you where it like, you know, it goes up to 199, then it drops down and the Bitcoin price drops a little bit. And then we head back up. So certainly a possibility, but it's interesting that, yeah, we are potentially in overbought territory. So a little bit of caution there. Doesn't mean we couldn't continue heading up. So either we do something like this, and then if we stay bullish, then it could head back up, possibly. Or sometimes it could just kind of stay up here for a while. So we will have to keep our eyes on this. I will keep you guys updated. Definitely smash that like button. And let me know in the comments below what you think. Is Bitcoin going to continue just heading up here? You know, is the stochastic RSI going to go up? And is Bitcoin just going to head up to like 120, 130? Or are we going to see a bit of a correction, maybe to the lower 90s? And bounce off of there. I think that would be very, very healthy, actually. In fact, that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm rooting for, because that would be a nice, healthy correction. And it would bounce off this 50% level from the peak. Actually, I might have to update this. I have to update this. So we go move this up. The 50% level from the current peak all the way down to the low from April. The 50% level is at 93,000. So could we bounce off of around 93? Maybe it goes to 90. Who knows if there's a lot of fear. That would be actually potentially a really bullish opportunity if you still have some cash left on the table like I do. Looking to dollar cost average, looking to buy back into the market when we get the next low. Okay. And what else? I want to also look at total 2. And then, so the interesting thing, slight concerning thing with total 2. So this is all the coins besides Bitcoin. So we've gone all the way down here, way down. And we're heading back up to the 50% level, but we still have not seen a breakout through this 50% level. That's this green line right here at 1.24 trillion on the total 2 market cap. So we definitely, if we want to see an altcoin run, we have to get through here and we have to blast through here with a major move, ideally. Or, I mean, we're definitely getting some resistance here. So a breakout would be extremely bullish for the altcoins. Let's take a really quick look at the, yeah, so the RSI looks just like what we're seeing for Bitcoin. There's still room for a move up. Wow, we're actually already at 98. That's pretty interesting. So, man. But there is still room here on the RSI. If we could get up to this area, that would be a nice altcoin run. Now let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. And so when the Bitcoin dominance drops is when we get the altcoin run. Just like we did back in November of last year, we got this huge move down here. And that was a nice altcoin run. Many of our favorite altcoins went on a nice run there. And let's take a look at the RSI. So we want to see this. We want to see some bearish divergence here, which we're seeing because we're seeing there's a peak there and then a lower high and then another lower high, barely. And, you know, maybe Bitcoin could show some strength here a little bit, but man, ideally we get something like this where we get that would be a huge altcoin run if we head down from there. And then if we look at the stochastic RSI, it's already dumping. So we're already seeing a major momentum shift with the Bitcoin dominance where the momentum's shifting down and we're starting to see some weakness in the chart. You know, where we did get a big weekly candle down here. This one right here. It is, if we go on the daily, still looks pretty weak because, yeah, we're seeing still resistance around this area, around 64%. And maybe it'll hang out here for a little longer. But if this eventually falls, then that'll be really good for a nice altcoin run. And when could that happen? I'll give you a hint. But first, let's return to, well, actually, no, let's take a look at the liquidations. If we look at up here, in the last 24 hours, there's actually more shorting, more people shorting the market, so more people are, the bears are coming in here a little bit. But if it gets too overly, if the bears get overly confident that we're going down, perhaps it's going to go back up and liquidate those shorts. We'll have to see. And here's the daily exchange volume. The daily exchange volume is potentially getting a higher low finally, barely. Over here on the right, if I zoom in, you see, you know, we had these lows back over here in April. And this is actually a slight higher low, it looks like, which is good. Yeah, slightly higher low here. And then we moved up here in the last few weeks. And this is potentially another higher low. So that would actually, in the short term, that's actually bullish if we continue heading up with the daily exchange volume. Because if we look historically, look at the last bull run. The daily exchange volume, as Bitcoin was breaking out in early 2021, the daily exchange volume kept going up and up and up until we reached the peak. All right, and unfortunately, the last 6-7 months, we've been on a downtrend. So we need this to start heading back up, which we're starting to see. So that is a glimmer of hope there that perhaps we're starting a move up, and hopefully that trickles into the altcoins to give us a nice altcoin run. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think we are on the cusp of an altcoin run coming up here? All right, let's return back to the presentation. Okay, so for the astrology lovers, here's the astrology. So You know, this is the astrology that I already showed you in the May Bitcoin astrology update for the month. You take a look at my channel if you want to review that. But here's all the, so the red is basically hard aspects where we could see potential dumps. We actually did not get dumps on the 10th or the 12th. So Bitcoin has been very strong. But you see in bold here, May 26th, we have this new moon sextiling the Bitcoin moon. And Mercury is trining the Bitcoin Mercury on the same day. So that's actually very good. So we actually could see a continued move up on this new moon. Certainly possible. Interesting seeing that we're seeing already a little correction before that. And I mean, sometimes new moons can mark local peaks, but it's not guaranteed. It doesn't happen every time. That's for certain. And the fact that we're getting, you know, May 28th, Mercury sextiling the Bitcoin moon, and Mercury, the planet of trading, making a positive sextile to the Bitcoin moon is usually quite positive. And May 29th, we're getting Venus, the planet of what we value and money, sextiling the Bitcoin Neptune, which could bring a little euphoria. So actually, you know, as Neptune can often represent euphoria, also confusion, but also feeling one with the universe, very spiritual. So that's actually looking overall positive towards the end of the month. So that's why I'm leaning towards, not guaranteed, but I'm leaning towards potentially a further move up. Now, on May 25th, let's see, I might have to even move my face a little bit, but May 25th, we are getting Saturn ingressing into Aries. Now, this is the first time this happened in 29 years. 29 years, guys. What were you doing 29 years ago? Man, I was almost back in my diapers back then. Nope, I was out of my diapers. I was 7 years old, so not too bad. But May 25th, Saturn is exiting Pisces, and for the first time in 29 years, moving into Aries. So Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. Aries is the first sign, and this is marking a major new 30-year karmic cycle because Saturn's going to be going around the zodiac in Aries, Taurus, Gemini, etc. All 12 signs. It's going to take 30 years for it to go all the way back through the zodiac. And in the sign of Aries, the very first sign, this is the start. This is the very, very beginning. So huge endings and beginnings happening right now, guys. So have you noticed in your life or in family members' lives or your friends' lives that they're having major changes in their life? That's exactly what's going on here. A major new karmic cycle is beginning. So this represents initiation because Aries is that first sign in the zodiac. It initiates, and also discipline action because Saturn is all about discipline. Aries is all about action and mature leadership because Saturn is that planet of authority and maturity. It's also, themes are taking radical responsibility because that's what Saturn is all about. Taking self-responsibility for the consequences of our actions or our inactions, because sometimes our inaction also brings consequences. For example, laziness or playing the victim, things like that. So take that radical responsibility and change your life for the better. It's also, themes are pioneering new technologies such as crypto, AI, defense, space, and other competitive innovations. We're seeing a lot of that already. And a potential to pop speculative bubbles. Now, the good news is May 25th is the first time Saturn ingresses into Aries, but then it's going to retrograde and it's going to come back and then ingress back into Pisces on September 1st. And then finally, the third pass on February 13th is finally going to ingress permanently back into Aries and then head around the next 12 zodiacs over the next 30 years. So it's going to happen 3 times. So if there is a speculative crypto bubble happening here, probably with Bitcoin, because the altcoins don't seem to be in a bubble yet, it could take, you know, another 9 months or so, all the way to February 13th. But probably a lot of caution September 1st, I'd say, especially. But then May 25th, maybe some caution now too. Like maybe we should be a little bit concerned that we could be heading into maybe a slight bubble here. We'll come up with more videos about that to see if we are heading up from here or if we're going to get a bubble pop. All right. And then also, as Saturn ingresses into Aries, it's going to square the Bitcoin Pluto. I could actually show that here. So we have the planets, where they're located on the outside, and then the Bitcoin chart on the inside. This is the Bitcoin birth chart based on January 3rd, 2009, when Bitcoin was born. And as Saturn ingresses into Aries here at 0 degrees, it is going to square. It's going to start to square the Bitcoin Pluto here. Bitcoin Pluto is at 1 degree, and Saturn is going to get closer and closer, but it's not going to hit an exact hit, I believe, until late June. Actually, let's see. Yeah, around June 17th, June 16th, around there. It's going to get an exact square to Pluto, and that is a minor concern, but I will let you guys know more about that in my June Bitcoin astrology forecast, as well as in my private crypto Astro Mastermind. I just recorded a very, very in-depth, detailed Bitcoin astrology analysis for quarter 2 and quarter 3 of this year. So that goes all the way out to, what is that? September. Yeah, September through September, what the Bitcoin astrology is showing. And I gave some major, major tips on what I'm seeing. When is the next greatest buying opportunity? So if you guys want to hear more about that, I'll share a little bit at the end of this video. But yeah, we're getting that Saturn squaring Pluto. So slight concern there for June. But the good news is the last time that we got this transit, Saturn squaring the Bitcoin Pluto, was actually 2009 when Bitcoin was born. And it actually happened 3 times all the way through 2010. And it was actually bullish. Now, Bitcoin was going way up in price for the most part. It was a big uptrend. It was a big win for the bulls back then. But that was also in the very beginning of Bitcoin when it was just born. And so I don't know if that's comparable to what we're seeing now necessarily. And then Mars is still in Leo. So this is really amazing, important data here about how the Bitcoin price chart performs as Mars goes through the different signs in the zodiac. As you can see, when it was in Cancer, this pink line, it was historically it's in the negative, and we got that because Mars was in Cancer in approximately January through March, and Bitcoin did poorly then, and altcoins got absolutely obliterated. Now, in the sign of Leo, Bitcoin historically does a lot better, and then when it goes into Virgo, I believe that's in July, August, then Bitcoin does even much, much better. So that is looking bullish later down the road, but so far so good. And in terms of an altcoin season, I'm thinking a big or small altcoin season could occur in June, dare I say, or July. Potentially, I'm leaning a little bit more towards July. But once again, if you want to get a lot more information on this, when is the exact next great buying opportunity, definitely check out the recent recorded call I did in my Crypto Astro Mastermind. You can learn about that in the link below. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already to get more critical crypto and astrology updates. And the Crypto Astro Mastermind, as I've mentioned, this is a private group where you get a monthly call with me on Zoom live, and then I'll send you the recording. I just came out with that recent call that like I already mentioned. And there's 2 spots available for May. So there's like another week where you can get action. You can get into this program. And after the sign up, you'll receive instantly in your email inbox the amazing bonus, a Bitcoin Astrology 2025 forecast that were recorded a couple months ago. Super powerful, where I go through month by month the Bitcoin astrology, guys. My predictions are still above 85% accuracy. Take a look at my previous videos to see the proof. And not only that, you will get a month by month Bitcoin astrology report that I just created, which gives you a month by month written down PDF, super organized, which gives you the basic astrology themes for each month, so you can know when to be more cautious with your hard-earned money and when to be more aggressive. Now, you'll also get an amazing, if that wasn't enough, to make this an easy decision for you, you'll also receive the bonus training, Crypto Astrology 101, to teach you guys exactly how I make my crypto astrology predictions. It's the basics. It's the 101 of it. You're going to love it if you're into crypto astrology. And just for this week's, guys, on the checkout page, use the coupon code to the moon. We have 2 spots left for this month in the next week. All right. Beautiful. So like and share if you guys like this video. Share it with someone who could benefit. And man, I've been spending a lot of time with my beautiful, beautiful baby daughter here. Life is good. Life is busy. It's one of the reasons I haven't been able to get here every day. But man, I am feeling blessed. All right. So that is the majority. Let's see if there's any comments going on here. Okay. Good Saturday morning. Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It feels so good to be on live stream. Man, it's been a while because my internet's been super weird. But we're back. Jack, is July looking dangerous, concerning for Bitcoin? I'm leaning more bullish for July, but we'll have to see what happens in June. There's definitely concerns in June. So if we do get a correction in June, I'm actually going to be excited because I'm going to be probably going all in. If Bitcoin dumps to like 92, 93K, I'll probably go all in. All right, maybe put some stop losses in there just in case. But in that case, I'll be really bullish July. But I'll have to keep you guys updated on that because not everything pans out like we initially thought. This is the most volatile markets. I would say September especially is very bearish. So I'm feeling I'm feeling extremely cautious about September. Casper's up while the whole market is down. Okay, okay. The Casper bulls are happy right now. Casper peeps are feeling it. Did you ever pick it up? I did buy a little bit of Casper back in the day. Isn't it with a K? Caspa is... Are you talking about Casper or Caspa with a K? Because I was Caspa with a K. I actually am not holding that right now. But anyways, thanks for the comments, everybody. I'll be coming out with more videos. And stay tuned, everybody. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Much love. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.